I grew up on the east side of St. Paul. My mom was a single mom, and I had two brothers and a sister. We struggled here and there. I remember finding a relationship with God when I was a teenager, but I was still backsliding. Ended up getting baptized at 18 and going through struggles after that. The first time I experienced homelessness was due to a domestic violence relationship. I ended up having to leave my apartment very quickly with me and my children, ended up in a domestic violence shelter. I got into another program that helped me find a home. And then 10 days after we moved in, I got fired due to COVID. My financial security is gone, and now I'm afraid I'm gonna go right back to the same situation. And I'm like, I just worked so hard to get right here and get us a home. I was still going through the very toxic and unhealthy relationship with my children's father in that home. It started to get dangerous, so we ended up packing our car up and going to Florida. 10 days before I went to Florida, I found out I was pregnant. We were going to stay with my brother, so we stayed for a little bit, but then his landlord was kind of like, there's just too many kids in this small place, so we ended up in our car. We parked at a 24-hour fitness gym. Florida's hot. This was in August of 21, so I had to keep the AC running all night. We ended up getting a Section 8 voucher a few months later and getting a home down there. And then in July of 22, my sister passed from lupus. In February of 23, my best friend passed. And then my son's grandfather died. And then my grandma wasn't doing too good. So at that point, I decided, I was like, we're going to go back to Minnesota because we're away from all of our family. And life was just too short. We got to see my grandmother on Mother's Day. So we got to say goodbye to her, and 2 days later she passed. And then that same day, my uncle also passed. Dealing with this loss, it was just like back to back. Like I still haven't even processed my sister. I'm trying to find a home up here now. That didn't go too good. So we ended up back in our car. I heard about Naomi Family Program at Union Gospel Mission Twin Cities. I did the intake. So we kind of just heard my story, kind of what was going on. So they called me back about an hour later. So we have a room for you and you guys can come down and see it. So we came down and saw the room. I brought my kids with me and they were so excited. There, we have our own bed. It was different than any other shelter I've been in. They had opportunities to set you up for success right there in the program. If you didn't have a GED, you could get your GED. If you wanted to further your education, you could do that. They offered free childcare, which was a huge help. They had devotions every morning where you got to get in God's word. And they have mental health services where you can go and get help. I was a little nervous at first. I've never really gone to therapy, but I was like, well, we'll give it a try. So I started talking to Tiffany. She was just a huge help. I had realized that I was suffering from depression for a long time. It's helped me cope with things. It's helped me kind of redirect my brain into, well, this is what's going on. It changed how I viewed myself, what I could do with my life. I want to do kind of what they do there. I want to help people who have been in my situation. If I hadn't come to Union Gospel Mission Twin Cities, we would have been in our car and went to another shelter. I wouldn't have got the love and support that I got at Naomi. I would still be struggling with what I was struggling with before. It completely changed my life in that situation. I feel like that's why God placed me there. A long time, I struggled with asking anybody for help. I don't need help. I'll figure this out. I got this, because there's nobody out there that's going to help me. And going to Naomi is the thing that changed it. I saw that they actually cared. After leaving the mission, I am happy. I have changed my outlook on life. I've changed how I viewed myself. Even though I went through difficult times, they don't define me. I have discovered who I am and how strong I am.